Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
And welcome to the Pool Nation Live podcast with myself. I am your host, Edgar De Jesus. And yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas. Today, we are talking with Kris Osterbusch, the new director of the International Pool Spa Patio and Deck Expo. And myself, I really am Magana, not Edgar. And I am the marketing lead for PSP Deck Expo, which will be taking place in Las Vegas, November 12th through the 17th.
And I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk, and we ain't talking about netting and jetting and splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsors for this podcast, the Ultimate Pool Tools, the SPPA, poolinvoice.com, BlueRay, AquaStar Pool Products, and Pivot Pool Products. We want to thank them for their continued support. Zach, good evening. How you doing?
Man, I'm still struggling from my trip up there with you party animals. I was starting to wonder if you weren't vampires, the late hours that you guys keep every night, but I'm doing good. I'm just trying to catch up on my sleep and get back in the groove of things. How are y'all doing?
I think we're doing good. The problem with you, Zach, is you go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. And so 10:30 is like 3 a.m. for you. So that's your real struggle.
Yeah, I was having a hard time there.
John, good evening. How you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing great. I'm doing much better now that Megan did that little intro.
I knew you were going to say something. I knew it was coming.
Thank you. You're like a breath of fresh air, Megan, because listening to Edgar for the last couple of years is starting to wear thin on me. So listening to you do that intro, that was pretty badass. Great job.
I certainly am an upgrade.
Yeah,
wow.
100%.
Shots fired quick. Man, I'm going to show up to the show and they're going to be like, nope, no registration. You've been banned from the show.
I'm looking forward to this. It's been a whirlwind of a couple months prepping for the international show. And Megan, you guys have just been the best with all the support and that you guys are giving us, and we're definitely looking forward to doing the show and the awards and being there. And we got a little bit of butterflies because we got quite a big show that we're going to be putting on, and we're excited to introduce some pretty cool things that we're going to be doing for the winners. Edgar?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
I'm still riding on the high of just left Texas for the second weekend in a row. I am officially a Texas homeowner, so that's pretty exciting. We closed on the house on the 31st, which was an interesting ride, but it worked out. And now I have to juggle all the fun things that I have to do with a new home that's, 1,500 miles away that I'm not going to be in for God knows how long. I basically bought a hotel room is what I bought with a laundry list of crap that still has to get done. And then we have the awards. So it's been quite the whirlwind, but I can see the end in sight. So other than that, I'm looking forward to the podcast.
Great. Kris, how are you?
I'm good. This is fun.
We're super excited to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here.
Kris, you the new director of the show, so that's super exciting. We want to dig in and talk about that a little bit. So, Megan, how are you?
I'm hanging in there. The show's in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, where we'll be in Vegas opening the doors. So that's going to be really exciting, I think, for the industry. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. And I mean, guys, it has flown by. And last year, by this time, I was like, it is what it is. We're ready to go. But guys, this year, for some reason, I feel like there's so many things that it's like nonstop, but we're there. So we're going to put on a great show.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
Oh, yeah. Think how stressed we are And just imagine.
I know these two,
like,
right?
We're like a small little part, and we're sitting here whining. Typical guys, right? It's like when we get sick, the biggest babies
The
we
man
are.
cold.
Right? Man cold, right? It's the end of the world. That's exactly what we're doing right now. We're talking about how stressful it is. But in reality, I can't even imagine putting on this show that you ladies are putting on and all the work and preparation that goes into doing that. And oh, God.
Yeah,
It does take a village
does.
or an army.
it really does.
And it's fun.
I'm stressed out to the gill over just like a little event that's going to be like, 2-3 hours. I just can't imagine an entire show with you having to deal with 450 of us asking for stuff left and right. Because I think every time Megan gets an email from me, she probably goes, here we go again. I've answered the question like 7 times, but yes, Edgar, we got this.
No, y'all are fantastic to work with, and this will be my 3rd pool show. I've been at the company about 5 years, and this audience it is so fun. Pool pros are just so down to earth and very friendly, so y'all make it easy.
Thank you.
Y'all make it so easy to do our job.
And here's the thing. She's going to be at the show, Zach.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, she didn't go last year, but she's going this year.
Okay, good. Awesome.
So I'm super excited.
It's more pressure for me.
Do you have your cocktail dress
Yes.
ready to go? Is it sparkly?
It's sparkly. Yes.
What is it with the sparkly thing and all the girls this year?
You know what? For most of us, it might be our only chance all year to wear an evening gown.
All year, all decade. It's fun to be able to get dressed up. And if you can wear sparkles, let's go for it.
Why not?
Why not?
Leslie's sparkling, so.
Yeah, Mama too.
Good.
Are you going to be sparkly, John?
Always sparkling.
Okay.
You can see it. From the twinkle in my eye.
To the sparkly Crocs?
Yeah. To the sparkly Crocs.
So, Megan, normally I do the intro and talk about the events and I talk about all those things that go on. I think I'm just going to have you just become part of the podcast, right, guys? It'll be a lot easier since we can have you on. So can you talk about the convention, talk about the dates, how to register, all that fun stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank y'all so much for having us. This is a really cool setup, and we're so happy to be here with y'all and talking about the show and getting to know all these cool audience who I just know are watching and listening. So thank y'all. So PSP Deck Expo is 2 weeks from today. It's November 15th through the 17th. Now, there is some pre-show education that starts on the 12th, and we'll have some all-day classes there. But then the big kahuna with the expo and all of the classroom education takes place the 15th through the 17th. And we're in Las Vegas this year. We're at the brand new West Hall of the Las Vegas Convention Center. So I think it's a year old, maybe, if that. I think its last show was last summer, or its first show was last summer. Almost brand new building. It's going to be beautiful.
It is amazing. I went out there, 2 weeks ago, and first of all, met with the people there. They were amazing, but the space is just gorgeous.
Good.
Yes.
I'm glad.
And it's in a really accessible location, too. It's easy to get to. You don't get stuck in traffic on the Strip, but you're close to everything else. It's a really nice building.
Yeah, because it's right off of Las Vegas Boulevard and whatever the next block is. And Paradise. And so it's right there, really accessible. But the facilities are, brand new, a year old. It's just a great setup.
Yeah, so folks can register at www.poolspapatio.com. And on behalf of Pool Nation, if you use promo code Pool Nation when you register, that will get you a free expo pass. So you can come to the expo, see all of the 450 plus vendors across about 130,000 square feet, go to the product showcase, go to some show floor education, and a bunch of other cool show floor activities.
That is awesome. So everybody that is listening, if you are going to go to the expo part, you do need to have that pass. So go there, register, get the pass, use the promo code. You can also go to poolnation.com. We have a button up at the top that says Free Expo Pass. If you click on that, it'll enter the Pool Nation. All you have to do is register and go through there. So there's one thing that I wanted to talk about really quick before we get started today, and that is the prizes for the Pool Guy and Pool Girl of the Year. So when we started the awards, we didn't have prizes for them. And with all the amazing partners that we've gotten, they've all stepped up. They wanted to do something. So I wanted to talk about those. So for the Pool Guy and the Pool Girl of the Year, they are going to receive a Pool Nation limited edition Hyper Pole. They're going to receive an Ariel, the solar powered cleaner, a $200 gift certificate for natural chemistry products. And here's the cool part, guys. They are going to receive a filter and a pump from AquaStar Pool Products. They're going to receive a heater from Raypack. And by the way, John, Brian called me today and says that he felt you throw him under the bus on that last podcast. So he stepped it up and he got them 2 Hayward AquaRite S3 Omni automations. So they are literally going to have an entire equipment pad for a pool, each one of them.
That's pretty crazy, right? No, that's not just that S3 is a new one, and that S3 means that it comes with the salt system.
It comes with the salt. Yep. It comes with the salt system. That's over $10,000 right there.
Like, dude, I was doing the math right now. 3,000, 1,000, 2.
It's like the Showcase Showdown
45.
on Price is Right. To add it all up
Dude,
in your
it's
head.
like 12,000. We're like at $12,000 retail value.
For each one of those.
Minimum. For Pool Guy and Pool Girl, so a combined value of over $25,000. And then that doesn't include, because I think we might be doing some other things for some other winners too. So I don't know. But that's pretty huge, right?
That is huge.
Yeah.
That is huge. I did get Brian telling me, tell John that I heard the podcast and he threw me under the bus. He had to throw Hayward. So I'm going to step it up. I'm going to step up my game.
So look, I want to take a second and thank Brian for coming through and thank everybody else that came through and did that. Brian has been a great friend of ours. He is so awesome, dude. He's like the best. Hayward has a shining star there, right? He is truly great at what he does, and he's a good person. And thank you so much for coming through, Brian. That is pretty badass. What I wanted to do is I knew that automation was the only thing left, and I just wanted to throw it out there, and I wanted to make sure that Hayward got to shine and be the automation controlling everything, right? So I'm glad you pulled through and made that happen for everybody. I'm sure whoever wins the Pool Guy and whoever wins the Pool Girl is going to be pretty stoked.
And
Absolutely.
we do have to thank both of you because you guys have been amazing partners with us since day one. And let's be honest, if they hadn't partners with us, we wouldn't be here today having this conversation and doing the Pool Nation Awards and all that. So we're super stoked to work with you guys.
Absolutely.
So thank you, because, I mean, everything that you guys do for us is amazing. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, and look, it's not like it's like the Oscars, right? This room is pretty amazing. For you to open that up to us, to be able to present the awards there and to do it there makes it that much more magical. Imagine being at like a motel, little conference room and trying to give away a pad, right? Like most pool meetings and pool awards are usually like that, right? This is a production, and it costs a lot of money to be able to provide that. And if you guys didn't do that, we're just pool guys, right? We don't have that much money. We can't.
We wouldn't be able to do it.
I only have a couple couches and there's only a little bit of change in those, but it wouldn't be feasible at this point. And because of what you guys have done, believing in us and trusting in us and allowing us to use your platform has been a blessing. So this and what we're giving away and what we're doing fits the room, right? And fits
absolutely.
It's just pretty badass. I'm so stoked.
Zach,
I wish I could get nominated.
Zach, I know you're going to jump in here and start asking some questions, but before we do that, I want to go to all of our listeners over here. So big shout out to Janie, Mr. Howard Pringle, as usual. Hi, John, when Zach and Edgar are out there. Kelly Clancy, big shout out to you out there. Jolene is on here. Hey, what's going on? Big shout out to you, girl.
You're not here with us.
I know, which, by the way, I did ask if she was coming.
Yes, you did.
And you ditched me, Jolene, so you're on my radar. I'm watching you.
That's our ops manager,
Yes.
for those of y'all who aren't familiar.
Keep her on your good side.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to have her come by the awards and then just throw her on the stage and have her give out an award and put her on the spot to get even, guys. Mr. Matt Mann, hello, my friend Edgar. Appreciate it out there. And then Matt Mann is going, sheesh, I think those should be door prizes at the award. There should be prizes at the awards as well at the door. Wow. Matt is stepping it up. Matt, let us know what you got. I'm going to throw Matt under the bus.
So you volunteering?
Matt, we appreciate that. And
John, make it happen.
Yeah, Manny, good evening, you all from Houston, Texas. Big, huge shout out to you out there. And by the way, if there is any family members that are listening, type on the chat. And then if you guys want to give us any good stories about these two ladies, feel free, because that always happens. So anyways, Zach, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so before we jump into the details about the show, Kris, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you ended up in your current role?
Sure. Well, I'm 3 weeks in on this event, and it's been amazing so far. It's a great team, and I'm excited. I mean, I love a pool. I like being in pools, by pools, near pools. I fly to pools. It's all good. But I've been at our current company for about 2 years, but I have about 20 plus years of experience in trade shows and events, all different kinds of industries. So I bring a lot of operations knowledge, but I'm just excited to get to know everybody. It does so far, 3 weeks in, seems like a really fun event, great people. Definitely agree with Megan, down to earth, cool. I mean, Vegas is going to be an amazing place to host this event. We're going to be there again next year too. So just looking forward to diving in and keep swimming. Is that what Megan said?
Dive in and deck out.
Dive in, deck out.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then with your and you've been with this company, what shows have you been doing before the pool?
So most recently was on the American Institute of Architects event, and that was a really interesting event. And I think lots of potential in terms of like landscape architecture and involving water and building and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I was with the architects event, and then prior to that, did a lot of different things. American Rental Association, did some medical meetings, did some tech. But it's all the same sort of underneath. Like, the foundation is there. Yeah. And what's also neat about this role is I'm on the flip side. I've got a very broad operations background, but now I'm actually getting involved in working with our show partners on content development and education and really understanding how we can be that meeting place that builds relationships, helps people learn. There is nothing in my mind that compares to like the opening day of an event, adrenaline, the excitement. When you get a bunch of people together who love the same thing, they can hang out and talk about pools. Like, you're not going to, when you come to trade shows and events, like, you get to hang out with other people who care and are as passionate about the things that you're passionate about, as opposed to a neighborhood party where you really can't strike up that same kind of conversation. So I love the business, love the industry, love that it's bouncing back after the pandemic the last few years, and just happy to be a part of it.
That was probably some scary times, huh?
Oh,
especially as COVID, and because it was completely shut down. There's no shows, there's no business, there's no nothing.
Well, and especially because it's an industry that had historically been very resilient, because you've got, if tech is down, something else is up. If medical's down, tech's up. If cars are doing great, then something else. But this was something that impacted all of it. And I saw today's great, tomorrow, the next day, wait a second, what happened?
There's nothing.
It's gone. So it was scary, but I think it's been interesting to look back on that and feel like, wow, we really do need face-to-face events. We really do need to be in the same room with each other. And we're invested in making sure we're doing that as safely as possible too. So it's nice to be able to be back doing it again.
You said something and it made me think, and I don't know, maybe pre-pandemic, but now that you guys are coming back right after the 2 years without that, and I know that you guys now are really focusing on content and stuff like that, and Rachel's doing that for you guys. How much more focus are you guys putting on that side of it, especially now that their social media plays such a big part of all of this?
Do you want to take that one, Megan?
Sure. Recognizing that things like us having a conversation here, there's 3 of us in the room, but imagine 100 of us in the room. So it comes down to the show is the place. To borrow from Hamilton, it's the room where it happens. So to bring everyone together in these rooms and take it from the online space to the offline space to a physical space, and just bring everyone together there. And like Kris mentioned, make it the true kind of face-to-face events that we have, because we need those going into 23 and beyond.
And I'd say the only thing that I would add to that is, I think pre-pandemic it was one or the other. You were face-to-face or you weren't. And I think we've now really learned like what makes sense in a digital format and what has to happen when you're in a room together. And using those two things in combination to provide an even better experience. So instead of trying to make everything that was live online and everything that was online live, like you have, like here, certain types of education work great in a recorded webinar type setting, but other types of education really do much better when you can have a conversation with the person sitting next to you, or, oh, hey, here's my experience. What's your experience? And you don't get that when you're staring at a computer screen. So there's tons. Plus, with the expo and all the products, you want to be able to touch it, feel it, smell it, whatever. And you can't do that through a computer screen. So it's taking the best of both and combining them and trying to create an event and a platform that allows you to do both well. So that's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree wholeheartedly on that. I mean, I know there's word out there, people saying that days of like trade shows are going away and we're doing this or more towards the digital or online platform type thing. And there's more bang for your buck here or there. But for me personally, and I think that human interaction and that one-on-one, that FaceTime, right? That networking that's where you build relationships that last, right? It's hard to get context. It's hard to understand something online or virtually. And as a human race, even though we're kind of heading down that way, a whole digital world and stuff, I think it's very important that human connection or that face-to-face interaction. And trade shows, I look forward to them. I think that's the best place for us to be able to do that.
Yeah, I disagree that people think that they're going to go away. Obviously, online and social media has its own place, its own niche. But there's always that need for that in person. And like you're saying, the training itself, you can do an online training class and it'll work for somebody. But then when you do one in person, it's a lot more powerful, a lot more impactful. You can create relationships in those that last forever rather than just that space. So, Megan, you're pretty much part of the crew. And I know that Kris is probably new, but she's always on our Instagram lives. We've had her on the podcast. So if we think of all the people that we partner with, I think Megan is pretty much like a shoe-in to be able to kick me out and take over the podcast and all the Instagram live. So
That's terrifying.
So we know a lot about you, right? Because we talk to you all the time. But there might be some people that are listening.
For someone to comment and say something on the live.
On the live? So yeah, that's true. I'm waiting over here for somebody to say, Edgar, be gone. So we know who you are,
Yeah.
But for those that are listening that don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with Informa?
Sure. So I am the marketing lead for the PSP Deck Expo. And so what that really means is anything you see about the show on email, website, social media, things like this, if an attendee or an exhibitor looks at it or interacts with it, I am probably the one behind the scenes having some small part in it. And so this is a super amazing industry. I've been in the trade show industry for about 10 years. I actually started at a television network. And then my last year there, I worked on our trade show appearance for the National Association of Broadcasters, which is a huge trade show in the broadcast industry. And so I sat back and I was like, wait a minute. This is a lot more fun than my regular job. So sorry for any of my old colleagues who are listening. But I fell in love with the trade show experience. And so since then, I have floated around trade shows in a variety of marketing roles, going into my 5th year at Informa and my 3rd year on Pool. So yeah, just super excited to be here. Again, this industry is fantastic, so down to earth, so friendly, and super nice.
So ladies, can you give us some background on the International Pool and Spa Expo and maybe how the show is different or how you think it's different from some of the other shows that are put on throughout the year?
Sure. Well, so I'm 3 weeks in, so I'm learning. I have had a number,
crash course.
I have had some crash courses. I've had some good knowledge share history, but I will say the event itself has been around since the 50s. So, I mean, that's amazing. And we got involved as Informa, and actually another company prior to Informa, in early 2000s with the PHTA. And since then, we've worked really closely with those organizations because they know their members, they know what their members need. We want to provide the platform that can get the members and the attendees who come connected with the product manufacturers and suppliers and the education, and then it all wraps up into a neat little ball of amazing experience.
Yes.
Also,
And then so in 2020, we brought over Deck Expo, which was previously with another event within Informa, and Informa is our parent company. And so that really brought together the pool folks and the deck folks, like anyone who would have anything to do with building a beautiful backyard for clients. They all had like now one spot to come to. And there was a lot of crossover, both in education and in products, especially with lighting or landscape architecture, as Kris mentioned. So that's been a really great kind of addition for us. And that, again, that audience, when I say the audience, I mean pool and deck folks, just super nice, down to earth. The association we work with there is NADRA, the North American Decking and Railing Association, and they're fantastic.
That's great. Now, last year, I know that your show did really well, and we were excited to be a little part of that. So can you guys talk about this year and how attendance is looking for this year? I'm going to throw you guys, I'm going to throw a curveball, right? Because it's like, boom, they both looked at me like, what, did you ask that?
Well, we all know we want to wait till post-event to have our verified attendance and registration, but it's looking great. It's looking really good. In fact, we've got a big welcome party plan, and I can get into that a little bit more in a minute, but we keep having to rethink our plan. Oh gosh, do we need to add a room? Do we need to do some overflow? Maybe we should scan people here instead of there, because we've seen such an incredible amount of interest in the event, and it's looking great.
Yeah, so in nice problems to have territory. We are at capacity for the welcome party, so we are making some adjustments on the back end to make sure that everyone can enjoy that event.
That's awesome. Now, that event's going to be up on the third floor?
It is.
Okay.
Third floor terrace.
So for everybody listening, I went out to Vegas, and it's on that same third floor. And I do have to tell everybody, John, Zach, everybody that's listening, the view from that third floor over to the Strip is amazing. And then I was talking to Kris, and I go, oh my God, I have a feeling that if we put our red carpet on the other side, everybody's going to leave the red carpet to take a picture with the view of the backdrop because it's so beautiful. And Kris said, if you think it looks great during the day, wait till you see that thing lit up at night. It is just absolutely gorgeous. So, of course, I had to cheat and go look over by the terrace out there to get the view of it. And it is really nice out there.
It is.
Yeah. With the numbers, as Kris mentioned, we didn't really release registration numbers until everyone is verified, and we take out the duplicates and the test records and all that kind of thing. But we have been vocal and public that the floor, we're at about 133 and change now, 33,000 square feet. And for comparison, when we closed the show last year, when the doors closed that Thursday at 2:30, we were at 100,000 and change. And so right now we're at 133,000.
So you're 30,000 more square feet of space?
Yep.
That's amazing. Yep. For a convention, that's huge.
That's big.
That's huge for a convention to go 30,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Do we get like those little like Paul Blart motorized carts so that we can travel from one side to the other?
We're going to get John in an old man little scooter driving around the thing.
Wear some comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
Wear comfy shoes.
Make a plan.
So, by the way, Megan, now you have Benny over here on the chat going, oh my God, Megan. And he's screaming Megan over here for you.
I have a fan club.
You do have your fan club from the Instagram Live. They're always talking to you. I think Zach has disappeared on us, right? You there today, Zach?
Yeah, I lost my mute button. I was waiting for Spider. So your guys' show has a lot of different aspects to it. You've got keynote speakers. There's a lot of different special events going on, lots and lots of education. And then there's the expo part of it. Can you dive in a little bit more into these things?
Yeah. So one of the special events that we have is the welcome party, and it'll be on the third floor terrace of the convention center. And that'll be on that Tuesday from 5 until 7. And that is really meant to be the pregame. Like, we realize we are in Vegas, and Vegas has a great nightlife. So stop by pregame with us, and then go on your merry way on the Strip. And if you are an attendee, find an exhibitor to take you to dinner. And if you are an exhibitor, find an attendee that is your customer to take to dinner and go have fun that evening. But yeah, just stop by and have a little fun with us first on the welcome party. And we intentionally set it early, starting at 5, right when the floor closes, so you can stop by and then go out on the Strip and have fun.
And then what other events do you have?
So also on that Tuesday evening is the Heritage Pool Supply Benefit Concert down at the House of Blues at Mandalay Bay.
I heard a rumor, and it wasn't from the two ladies. I heard a rumor from a source outside of you guys that told me, a little bird, like I tell John, drives him crazy. A little bird told me that thing is almost sold out, and it holds close to 14,000 people. Is that true?
That doesn't sound.
Does that not sound right? So see?
It's at the House of Blues,
It's
right?
at the House of Blues?
Yeah.
And I've been to concerts there before at the Mandalay, and I don't think it holds
that many.
House of
See,
Blues.
they threw me. John,
Maybe
I fell for it.
1,400?
Maybe 1,400.
1,400 sounds realistic.
Yeah.
So then that would have been, maybe I botched up the numbers, but still 12. So I heard it was very close to sold out for that event. And that's just for the show people.
Talk to your bird, Edgar.
We need to shoot the bird.
That bird is drunk.
that bird is on my bad list.
And then, so that's going to be happening on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, right before y'all's event, we are going to have a networking happy hour right on the floor. So that will be super fun. And I still can't believe that legal is letting us get away with this name, but we are calling it Booza Pool Ooza.
Nice.
So we're going to roll out the beer carts
They had them have a couple of drinks before they gave them that they wanted that name.
and the snackies, and we will get everybody nice and juiced before y'all head off to the awards.
That is awesome. Send them out to our award like that, right, John?
Yeah, look, I just want to take a second and just pause and look at how sweet Megan and Kris were when you completely botched that figure. Instead
you
of
got to come and throw me under the bus. Here we go. Here we go.
I've been like, dude, what are you talking about? 14,000 people at a House of Blues. And they're so nice. And they're like, maybe. In their mind, they're going, this dude's nuts. What is he talking about?
Megan just went, that's Edgar. Here we go again. Kris was like looking at me and looking at Megan like, wait, what?
I saw something fly over there, like she threw something at you. Like, dude, what are you talking about?
I have Chris's pen that she threw over here.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted to point that out. Too kind.
No, as I say, there's also, in addition to all of the fun and parties, there's lots of great education too. And you wanted to mention keynote panel.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to ask.
Tell us about that.
So the keynote panel, I'm going to have to find it in my notes again to remember who all the companies are. But we're not going to have just one speaker for our keynote. We're going to have 5 speakers. We're going to have a panel of CEOs from some of the leading manufacturers.
Hayward?
Yes, thank you. You have the list. Hayward.
Jacuzzi.
Oh, can I play a game? Can I see if I remember them all?
Yes,
okay.
go for it.
If you don't remember them all, you owe us dinner at a steakhouse in Vegas to all of us.
Deal.
Go.
I'll expense it. Can I expense it?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Let me tell you something. Do not take John. Make it on a night that John's not there, please. Because that right there just doubled the ticket for your steakhouse.
No, you got it wrong. This is what's happening. We're taking you out for dinner.
Yeah.
For being there for us and helping us. So don't worry. Edgar's just messing.
So
yeah.
Okay, so we have a panel of leading CEOs from leading manufacturers who will talk about lessons learned and what is going into next year. Mm-hmm. So we have Hayward, Jacuzzi, Big Green Egg, Decorators, and Heritage.
Yay! Ding,
well,
ding, ding, ding.
John, get ready to pay up, my friend. Ding, 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 ding.
Happily.
So a big steakhouse out in Vegas.
On this keynote, what are some of the things they're going to be going into? Like, what should people be there listening for?
Well, what's kind of interesting about it is you can submit questions in advance, correct? So if there's something you specifically want to learn or hear about from this from this panel, you can submit that in advance. So I think they're going to be talking about lessons learned from their perspective and things that they think are important, but they're also going to be fielding questions from the audience well in advance of the event and then at the event itself.
Yeah,
So-
our conference team has been working closely with the moderator as well as the panelist to put together just a really good rundown of what we're going to talk about. And so we're really basing it on what the attendees are looking for. Like they've already asked me for attendee demographics of who's our audience for this, because they really want to tailor it to the folks that are going to be there listening and can walk away with those takeaways from what's happening.
Yeah, and I know that Zach would geek out on this because Zach and I talk about this all the time, right? So look at his face. He's all lit up. When you said that the CEO panels were going to be there, I knew that Zach was going to be like, that's my thing right there. But I think that's really awesome, especially for these shows, because a lot of the times what you get, Zach, you get more of somebody that kind of comes to talk about their story or talk about something else. But to actually be able to get some of these CEOs and some of these presidents, which are specifically in our industry, and to be able to answer some questions, right? Because we all know that for example, me being there, Zach, one of my questions would be, obviously we're looking at the economy, things are slowing down. What do you guys see? And what advice would you have for some of these companies that are kind of into some of those times that they've never dealt with before?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a big one. I think there's a little bit of uncertainty, everything in the news. So you hear it one way, then you hear it another. It would be cool to get that perspective from these leaders that are in these higher up positions with these big companies in our industry, because they have the teams of people that are analyzing the events, analyzing what's coming up and forecasting for that. So they have a pretty good idea of what they believe is going to go on. And it would be cool to get all of their perspectives on it.
Yeah, and some of these CEOs obviously are publicly traded companies, so they probably can't say certain things, but then you have some other ones on here that are going to be able to talk about those things. But I think in our industry, one of the things that also happens is that a lot of these higher up from these companies aren't as accessible to the industry. And I get it. There are these CEOs running of companies and stuff like that, but they won't go on podcasts. They won't go do news things for the Pool Pros. So for you guys to be able to nail this one and get all these guys here, that's huge. I know that at least a lot of our listener base is going to be excited about that.
Yeah, I think it'll be very worthwhile to go for attendees for sure.
Yeah. Now, is a keynote speaker?
That is on Tuesday morning, starts at 9 and then runs till 10:30. And then at 10:30, we open the doors to the expo hall.
That is awesome.
Can I go, Edgar?
Absolutely. I know that. I knew you were going to say that. I'm thinking that I might want to be there.
Can I go?
Can I go? So, but it's some amazing people from this list that are going to be there. And by the way, some of these guys are going to be at the awards, just to let you know. So I'm excited about having them at the awards there and having them spend some time with the Pool Pros and bingo. And then let's not forget about the Pool Nation Awards. I mean, that's the biggie for us, right?
Yeah. Can I play another game and see how well I've been listening about the Pool Nation Awards?
Yes.
Okay. So it is Wednesdays, November. I almost said September. We're past that. November 16th from 6 to 9 in room W326.
Wow. John, you owe her some dessert now.
And so there are several awards that are up for grabs, including Truck Rep of the Year, Sales Rep of the Year. There's a ton of product categories, and Pool Guy and Pool Girl of the Year. And it is black tie, which is why all the ladies who are going have sparkly dresses.
Okay. I have a feeling that was like an interview set up for her. Did you guys set that up and ask her?
No.
No?
No, she nailed it.
She nailed it? Do you have any openings? Because I have a feeling I'm going to be without a job here soon.
Well, if she leaves, then I don't know.
Then maybe I'll have a chance. Which, by the way, I couldn't do.
That won't happen.
I couldn't do what she does. She's amazing.
She is amazing. I know.
Hey, guys, let's do this. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, we will continue our conversation.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add recurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. BlueRay XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, BlueRay XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. BlueRay XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BlueRayXL.com.
BlueRay all day.
AquaStar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today. Pivot how you clean pools. Debris that makes it to the bottom always enters from the surface. Clean from the top with Ariel, a smart solar-powered pool skimming robot. She works around the clock skimming pesky and fine debris off the pool surface. Tell your customers about Ariel and earn big commission on every sale. With advanced solutions like Ariel, you'll spend less time at the pools you service, improve customer relations, and increase your bottom line. Plus, pool owners will enjoy a constantly swim-ready and healthy pool and lower energy bills. Visit pivotpoolproducts.com/dealers to see how much you can earn and for resources on how to get your customers to ditch the net for good.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. We are talking to Kris. We're talking to Megan with the PSP Expo, the International Pool and Spa Deck Expo. That's going to be happening November in Las Vegas. So let's continue our conversation.
Yeah. So, ladies, one thing that we always like to ask is that if we were talking to somebody who's never attended a convention or a show, what can they expect to get out of it if they attend?
That's a great question. I think there's a lot of things you can expect to get out of an event. You can network, meet people you already know, and expand your knowledge. There's education sessions, there's networking events, there's great products, lots of product demonstrations. It's really a few days in the year, and whatever you get out of it can carry through the entire year. It's a really good investment, a time concentrated. You spend a little bit of money to come to an event, and you get all of these things in one place. So,
we realize it's difficult for people to be away from their routes and be away from their businesses. So we want to make it easy for people to attend. So even just a day pass and come in and explore the floor and see what's going on there. And if you make a plan, you're going to have such a richer experience. Just make a plan. That is what I would tell anyone coming in, whether it's their first show or their 20th show.
And our app is now live in the App Store. So I would, at this point, download that app, start taking a look at what's happening at different times during the day, but still be flexible. Like, double, triple book yourself, because you don't know like where you're going to be in the moment and what you might want to check out, but you don't want to miss anything.
Yeah. And to just give like a rough idea of the schedule. So the expo runs Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday On Tuesday and Wednesday, it's 10:30 to 5, except for the Wednesday when it expands until 6 for that happy hour. And then on Thursday, it's 10:30 to 2:30. But there's education happening in the morning. So the education happens, the classroom education that you would get with a Super Pass, that happens starting at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. So you can do back-to-back sessions and then go to the floor. And as Kris mentioned, use the tools that are available between the website, the mobile app. We have a matchmaking platform this year. So like triple book yourself of now you have options. So you've taken it from like 10 options that are in maybe one time slot down to 3. And you get on site and you realize, okay, I want to go here. I'm going to have my colleague go here. And then we're going to compare notes at the end.
Okay. And that was going to be one of my next questions, which is what's the best way to get the most out of the show? And so this app that you have, how does that app work for them to be able to use?
So it's the show's mobile app, and it's available in the App Store if you search Pool Spa Patio Deck, and it will have the education listings, it'll have the vendor listings, it'll have all the logisticy stuff that you need to navigate the show, including those room numbers. So when you're at the convention center, there's going to be 3 floors. Expo Hall is going to be on the first floor, and we do have a couple of classroom educations things happening there. Second, third floor is going to be more education, and then also on the third floor is going to be that welcome party on Tuesday. So yeah, the app is a really great way to navigate the show and be able to know what's going on.
And it actually has a My Show Planner feature. So once you're signed up, you can create your schedule and it'll save it for you. You can favorite things. You can connect with product manufacturers and suppliers. There's lots of easy, convenient features. Real simple, intuitive to use too. So,
Megan, I already have more work for you for next year.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm over here thinking like we need to do some little videos on the podcast next time and maybe share some of the screens and kind of share, because that sounds interesting. I'm going to download it and check it out. But especially because you get a lot of the pool pros that are new, it can be overwhelming, and especially when you get somebody that's doing education, they're doing education in the morning, and that brain starts to fill up with so much information, and then you hit the floor and there's so many different vendors. Where do I go?
Yeah.
What do I see? So maybe to have that planner would be a great thing, because then you can make a plan at least. You walk into the show and it is a little overwhelming. Your guys' show is really big. So to be able to at least walk in and go, wow, this is a little bit overwhelming, but I'm going to go to this booth that I have on my app and make a beeline for it and get a little bit more comfortable would be a great thing. So.
Exactly. The metaphor that I like to use is it's like going to the grocery store to get your supplies for the week. Yeah, you could go and wander up and down the aisles and hope that you remember, the milk and the bread and everything that you're out of. Or you could make a list of what am I low on? What do I need to, the metaphor here is it's not what you're low on, it's what do I need to learn? Who do I need to meet? And you make a list and you go in with your goals of I want to meet 5 new vendors, or I want to source this new product, or I want to learn this new skill, and kind of work backwards and backtrack into what's available at the event to fit into those goals.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, having a goal coming into it is great. And then any decision you make, kind of throw it back up against that goal. Hey, if I go here, is that serving my goal or no? And I think if you can get each day 3 things that off your list, you'll feel like you can look back and go, wow, I made the most of my time. But also be flexible, because I know I've gone into events with high hopes of all the things that I want to see and do. So prioritizing and ranking those, because inevitably you're going to run into somebody, have a conversation, or you're going to change your mind, or you're going to be somewhere, oh, wait, I want to pop into there. So it's good to have a plan, but it's also good to be a little bit flexible.
Yeah, because there's a ton of show floor education happening too. So if you pass by and you see something interesting that's happening, especially one of the demos that's going on, and you want to pop in and see what's happening, you gain that demo time and that education time. But again, back to that flexibility of, can I make this up later?
Yeah, and there's a lot of great products out there that I know we don't always get exposed to. And yeah, I mean, this is the best one. And I mean, to me, John, Zach, one of my favorites to go look at this show is going to be, I know Spa Electrics is going to be there. And they've got a product with the lighting. John, that's the one that you can pull out onto the deck. You cut the wire and they have the fittings to be able to not have to rewire that entire thing. And I'm dying to go look at it. And that's not something that you get to see just anywhere, but specifically at a show, you could. So for me, it would be like, that would be something that I would put in that app and be like, okay, I got to make sure that I see this, because I think we're us guys normally will go to the grocery store without the grocery list, right? We're just walking down the aisles aimously. And so.
Well, and don't forget.
That's definitely how I do it.
I think that app is really neat, right?
Yeah.
To have, it's kind of like your treasure map.
Yep.
And you get to figure out where you want to go. And I'm going to throw something out here, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, hey, what an opportunity, because Edgar, you brought up a good point. There's so many vendors out there, right? And products that are out there that a lot of pool guys or pool girls, when they're out, if they're not exposed to it and they don't understand it and they're not walking it, you don't know what you don't know. And there's so many new innovative products or new companies that are in the game that have things that you just haven't come across that can make your life 1,000 times easier, or offer solutions to problems you've had in the past that you haven't been able to figure out. And here's an idea, and I'm throwing this out there. I just thought of this.
Uh-oh.
We have 2 weeks left. Brian.
Yeah.
I know. Not for this year. Not for this year. For next year,
I love
right?
how Megan threw that in there. She's like, we got 2 weeks. Don't be throwing stuff out my way.
But look, I think this will really inspire, motivate people to do exactly what we're talking about. I mean, vendors that are showing up to the show, right? They don't want to just be put in a booth and say, hey, they're looking on traffic, people that they're talking to, contacts that they're making, right? All that goes into play for them on whether or not a show is successful for them. Not necessarily how much they sell, but face-to-face contact, right?
What's their
getting
ROI?
to see the traffic, right? That's their ROI, right?
Yep.
So in order to promote that, maybe with the app, do something like a promotion where every booth, including education, the welcome show, anything or any event, and any booth that is offered at the show, they have a QR code or something that they scan with their app, and not just leave it on the table where people go by and can scan, but just have it to where if you go to that booth, you introduce yourself, you talk to the sales representative, and they talk to you about their products and what they're there to do. After they're done, then they can hand you the QR code, and then you can take your phone, your treasure map, and you can scan it. And based off of how many you've gotten or how many scans you got, you get entry tickets. And those entry tickets are used for a prize. And it could just be one prize. You don't have to go crazy, but whatever it may be, and just say, hey, based on your participation in the show, how many vendors you spoke to, how many educational classes you took, how many of the events you attended, you get one entry
points.
into it. Yeah, or points,
Like
or
a
whatever
leaderboard.
it is. And then you go from there. It could either be a drawing, or it could be the person with the most points. And I'm sure there's going to be people that might game the system, or they might try or whatever, because that's what human nature is. But if you do it to the point where you get X amount of points within this range, you'll get 500 entries, and then blah, 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 or whatever. And then at the end, you do a drawing, and whoever wins that prize, and it'll help. What do you think about that?
I think, okay, go ahead, ladies.
That's a great idea. Megan, is Jolynn still on? So just jot that down.
Jolynn is probably
No, I do. I
jumped out the window by now.
Jolynn, are you on? Let's get that on our to-do list here. No, I'm kidding.
I do think that's a great idea. I think anything that encourages people or gives them a little bit of an extra incentive to make it around the floor, I think is fantastic.
And we are going to do something similar with Product Showcase. So Product Showcase, we had, again, we're breaking records. We had 26 entries last year. We're sitting at 42 right now.
Nice.
So Jolynn is probably all alive, just ready to pull her hair out. But attendees who are there can go vote on their favorites. And we have kind of two main categories of best new product and best in show. And then we break them down further into service, construction, outdoor living. And we encourage attendees to come into Product Showcase and vote on what's your favorite product this year. What do you think is the most innovative? What's the coolest? Who's your favorite? That could be gaming the system, but we're working right now on how do we incentivize those attendees to come and vote. And is it, John, like you mentioned, is it a free Super Pass next year? Is it a gift card? Is it, what can we give something fun to the attendees so that they can not only see the products, but then also get a fun little bonus.
Yeah. You will have to put on there that Zach is not allowed to participate.
Okay.
Because if you know Zach goes like 4 weeks in advance and he plans every day, every hour, every
He does
booth,
his research.
what questions he's going to ask.
That's good.
And he'll go over to you and he'll be like, so Megan, can you tell me a little bit about your product? Yeah. Okay, time's up. I got to go to my next booth. I got to go. And so he'll totally
He
go
does
and like
his
scan each one.
research.
That's great. Well, but you also have to remember, yes, it's going to feel really maybe a little overwhelming to try to get everywhere you need to get while you're at the event. But the event doesn't end when you leave Las Vegas. And those connections that you make with people carry on. And the goal is to start the conversation and then continue it as the year goes on. So
look at that. I have First Response Michael out here going, just picked up my polo shirts from my embroidery for the expo. How cool is that? He's ready.
awesome.
Michael's ready to go. He's got his embroidery. He's got his company name. He's ready to go.
Dude, I'm proud of him, dude. He got his stuff together, dude. Watch out for him. He's gonna be somebody.
Yeah, definitely
industry.
for sure. And now Benny's going, oh man, I should have done that. So poor Benny. Big shout out to you, brother.
So I want to jump in here and ask. And so the education classes are obviously a very important part of the show, but we are going to have people that are attending who don't attend the class side of it, and they're going there to attend the expo and walk the floor. For those people, what should be the things that they're doing on the floor to really maximize their experience there?
that's a good question. I think coming with a question, you're gonna be able to interact with potentially like product technical experts, like what problem are you trying to solve, taking a look, we'll have in the app, you'll have all of the exhibits. There's lots of information about each of those companies in there. But I think if there are certain products that there are things you're going to come into the show being curious about. And so Edgar, just like you described, like you have all your list, you have all your questions, but you might stumble upon something that you hadn't considered. So I think the demo stages, just start on one end and make your way through. Maybe if there's 2.5 days of exhibits, one day is appointment day and one day is wander day, and then you have a third day to go back and follow up with people that you didn't have a chance to spend enough time with. So breaking it up like that can help.
No, I think that's huge to think of it that way.
And Edgar explained me to a T. Like when I went to the shows and was attending them as an attendee, I had a plan. And I think that's super important. And my thing is it's a lot to take in. And you talk to so many people that you're not going to retain it all, but all the vendors there have handouts and brochures and all the different things. So we had a small retail store for a while, and I would go for a lot of the retail side of things, and I would walk and I would ask my questions. I even had a little notebook with my questions. I would write down notes, but I would try to collect all the sales materials I could. And then when I got back and I had some time to sit down and breathe and look through it, I would have contact cards. I would have all the different things. I'd be able to print it out and say, okay, here's what I really want to focus on. And here's the people I need to follow up, and even get the sales pitch from them one more time. But it's a good opportunity. You don't want to waste it by just aimlessly floating around the floor. Like that's fun too, but go there with a purpose and make the most out of it.
Zach,
Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, Zach, who are you trying to fool? We all know that when you went to the show, you're the one with the backpack on, with the with the hydration, and you have a body cam on, so you're not taking any notes. You're hitting the body cam and you're talking and you're going back and you're going
Watching
through the
footage
video and
later.
you have it archived.
That's clever. He should teach a class.
He's a total geek when it comes to that.
How to attend.
Yeah.
Yep.
He compares notes from one year to the next.
That's
about what did I do well? What did I not do well? How many people did I see? Did I not see this year? You won't fool us, Zach.
I love it. I think that's great.
And I'm going to paraphrase something that Hayward Bryan has said before is, if you look in the back of your truck, everything you have in your truck has a person attached to it. And that person or someone from their company is going to be at the show. So it's the chance to put the face to the product or the issue that you're having on your routes or in your business.
Yeah, that's a great point.
For sure. So let's talk about the education side of the expo, because we're huge fans of the education side of it. And I think it's one of the best parts of the pool show. That's what I enjoy the most about the shows. Can you talk about the specific education that is taking place at the show this year?
Sure. So the education breaks down into 4 main areas. So we have pre-show classes, and those are happening Saturday to Monday before the show. It's classes from our partners with PHTA, Genesis, and NADRA. There are specialty educations, like classes from the people at the Shotcrete?
American Shotcrete Association.
Yes, I mean, that sounds cool. Is it like they shoot concrete? Is that what that is?
I've always wanted to do that one. That one.
Funny story. So when I got the opportunity to be a part of this event, I started searching YouTube for videos, all the things. And I was like, that must be what that is. But then Plasters Association, Water Shapes, lots of great education from those guys. Then we have the classroom education Megan mentioned, mornings during the expo. That's November 15 to 17. Off the top of your head, the kinds of things that people will be learning?
Yeah, so there's tons of tracks in the morning education that's happening. So there's some service stuff and some builder stuff and some deck stuff and some how to run your business well. So it runs the gamut across the entire pool industry.
Yeah, and there's definitely a number of specialty certifications and things that you can sign up for, or things that are it's interesting. I was talking to one of our primary salespeople on the event. He's been in the industry and with the event for a really long time. And he was, and now I lost my train of thought, but he was talking to me about how we have a wide variety of specialties, all related to this broader industry. And so how can you be trying to be an event that has a broad reach and a broad focus, but then also you can get in and find that specialty product or that specialty class or course or that certification depending on who you are and what you need. So we're trying to find that balance of both. Anyway, we got lots of that. And then there's show floor education. So the demos and other things that are happening on the show floor where you can actually see people using products and putting things together. There's some great deck stuff.
The deck stuff's really
workshops.
cool.
I mean, I just had to approve some big expenses for lumber.
Uh-oh.
So some really cool, fancy wood. That's going to be neat. It's going to be neat. They're going to be building things on the floor, too. So
I think people, too, they tend to focus on what it is they do specifically. And there are certain times that maybe if you're purely a service company, there may be some courses or a window of time where there's not a service-related course. But I think people need to find the opportunity to, if there's a marketing course or a business course or even a shotcrete course, you're servicing pools, you're not building them. There's kind of a lapse in time, but there's a shotcrete course. Why not sit down and just take that 45 minutes or that hour and learn about that while you're there? And it just gives you much more knowledge, in-depth knowledge into what's actually happening with the swimming pool. And you can take that back even though you don't do that, and it can make you better at what you're doing. And I never forget, I probably have my old badges, but when you flip that thing over, I had a full schedule from the very first minute all the way through.
There it is. He's confessing.
I love it. I was proud of my badge. And so I think people need to really not just be so narrowly focused and kind of expand that.
And I love my metaphors, so I'm going to drop another metaphor in here. You can stay in your lane, but still be on the same road as everyone else. So you can still stay in your service lane, but be aware of the road around you and where the builder is and, where the retail folks are. Because again, it is that community. It takes several people to put a beautiful backyard together. And if you understand kind of where your colleagues, what their perspective is, what they're learning, where they're coming from, those conversations that you have are just going to be that much richer and that much more impactful.
Yeah, and you can turn that on a customer too. So just exactly how Zach was saying, and that's one of the things that I used to do. I used to go take thermodynamic classes just to be able to talk about heat and water evaporation. And did I need to take that class? No, absolutely not. And some of the people with me are like, why are you taking that class? Why? I want to learn about that. And funny enough, I took that class and literally 3 weeks later, I was talking to somebody that owned a whole bunch of vacation rentals. And his argument all the time was, why am I adding so much water into the pool? And why am I? And I'm like, well, let's talk about your water evaporation. And I repeated what I learned. and put me in a better spot with that customer.
Makes you more valuable.
Yeah,
to the
absolutely.
customer.
Absolutely. So that's definitely very important. Now, what are some of the on-floor classes that you're going to be doing?
So we have sessions from PHTA and Genesis. We have the Spa Retailer Academy. We're going to have some deck demos. We're going to have what we call the PSP Deck Expo stage, and then I'll have some commercial stuff, as well as the $1 Million Pool Design Challenge session, which is always very popular and very well attended.
Very cool, by the way, which I had no idea about that. And I had Mike Farley on the podcast, and he told me all about it. I thought that's super cool.
It's very cool. It's very cool. And so for those who are unaware, we work with Mike and we put out a contest every year, and we have a certain amount of kind of specs. You have to build to this spec home, and this fictional couple wants a pool and a sauna and a deck and a tanning bed, and kind of on down the line. And you have to think about the environmental impact, because this year's spec house is in Chicago
with not a lot of space.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
very
there's
vertical space.
Yes.
This year, last year's was in Arizona with a ton of space to work. And so fake $1 million budget to put it all together. We have 5 finalists who are going to present their renderings. And then again, it's an audience vote. Audience votes on
That's awesome.
their favorite. And then many thanks to Riverflow, who is our sponsor this year. The winning prize, the winning designer, walks away with $10,000.
I know, that was super exciting when I heard that. So, and I think it's a great event, because what they do is they challenge those designers to be put in positions that they're normally not in, so that it really pushes their boundaries of learning and things that they need to do with regards to the specs.
So how many vendors total are there at the show this year?
I think we're teetering at a little over 450.
That's
crazy.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Can't cover that in a day.
That's why you have
lot of
2.5
questions.
days.
That's why you have a plan.
That's why you have 2.5 days and you have a plan. Yeah.
And I will tell y'all just personal story. Long before I worked where I worked and I went to my first trade show, I made the mistake of planning, but not realizing that the 1,000 aisle booths are nowhere near the 8,000 aisle booths. So when you put together your hit list, put it in numerical order.
Yes, that's a good.
So then you're not just zigzagging across the floor, because that is not a good use of time and energy. When you could, as Kris mentioned, do, one half on one day and one half on the second day, and then all the ones you missed on the third day.
And it is a lot of walking. Yeah. I mean, 430,000 square feet, 450 vendors. That's a lot. That's a lot of walking, a lot of conversation. So, guys, let's do this. Let's take our final word from our sponsors. When we come back, Zach, John, I want to get your final thoughts.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add recurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. BlueRay XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, BlueRay XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. BlueRay XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BlueRayXL.com.
BlueRay all day.
AquaStar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double-locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today. Pivot how you clean pools. Debris that makes it to the bottom always enters from the surface. Clean from the top with Ariel, a smart solar-powered pool skimming robot. She works around the clock skimming pesky and fine debris off the pool surface. Tell your customers about Ariel and earn big commission on every sale. With advanced solutions like Ariel, you'll spend less time at the pools you service, improve customer relations, and increase your bottom line. Plus, pool owners will enjoy a constantly swim-ready and healthy pool and lower energy bills. Visit pivotpoolproducts.com/dealers to see how much you can earn and for resources on how to get your customers to ditch the net for good.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. Sorry, we were over here having this great conversation and flew right through the sponsorship intro over here.
Some of those little sponsorships, those are a bop.
They are, huh?
Right?
Yeah, they get you bopping. So what happened to us on the last podcast is we did it in Studio A, so we had a different mixer. And so long story short, I've been getting calls all week because everybody was going, boy, Edgar, you botched up that podcast, because when the sponsors would come on, we could hear them and we're bopping, but nobody else could hear them.
Whoops.
So we're towards the end of the podcast. I did want to ask ladies about Matchmaker. Maybe talk a little bit about that before we have John and Zach jump into their final thoughts.
So going back to having a plan and use our website, use the mobile app, we also have a platform that we are calling PSP Deck Plus, and that is essentially our matchmaking platform. So as an exhibitor, once you register and you have a badge, you go onto this platform and you create your profile and your company profile and then say, okay, I want buyers who are on the West Coast and are looking for chemicals because that is my target audience. And then as an attendee, attendees also can come onto the platform and set up profiles. And when there's a match, we'll get y'all two together, connect you, and then you can set up meetings on site. So little one-on-one meetings that you can have either in the vendor's booth there during the show, or we have a lounge called the PSP Deck Plus Lounge. It's going to be right there on the show floor. So again, it's just another way to just do some prep work and start booking some meetings to meet with those vendors before you go. And you'll just have such better experience going in. This is going to be the 3rd year for this platform, and we have seen the adoption rate just skyrocket. Everyone who uses it loves it, makes it so easy to meet those vendors on the floor and schedule some time with them. So just, again, another tool that is included with your registration for both attendees and exhibitors.
I got a question. You've probably never been asked this before.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
But what kind of food is going to be there on the floor? I know there's like the little cafeteria stuff. Are there going to be like little carts with like tacos and like drinks? Or are you guys going to, is any of that going to be there? Or is it strictly going to be like the...
For Boozapalooza, I feel like we have the beer kegs and carts that'll be coming out. I don't know the exact beverage that will be in. Jolyn, are you still on the call?
Yeah.
On the live?
I know. Jolyn, type it in.
Jolyn, type it in. What kind of beer and snacky stuff are we going to have? So yes, so that will be there. And then of course we'll have the food court and concessions that will be open.
And there'll be some food at the welcome party as well.
Absolutely.
See, like Zach plans out what vendor he goes to.
John does the food.
I do the food. So I plan out where I'm going to go eat and what time I'm going to go eat. And then I'll see the vendors near that place of food. So, okay. Thank you.
That's a great idea. We probably do need a food map.
Yeah.
Like maybe we add that to the map.
I feel like I saw the catering order for the welcome party a while ago, and I remember there being bacon wraps something, which I'm looking forward to.
It's going to be good.
That's good.
If you do anything with food, like you're in, you've got it in with John. So, John, we'll have to take them out to eat with you because that is an experience within an experience. And it's a great one. It's a great one. But just to let you know how John rolls is we get to a restaurant and I fast when I know that he's not coming out for 3 or 4 days because I'm going to gain a couple pounds when he comes out. But it's one of those where he looks at the menu and he goes, that sounds interesting. That sounds interesting. And that sounds really good. So let's try all 3 of them.
See, this goes back to the planning that we're talking about because I would have looked it up online and made my decision prior.
Oh, no. John just goes with the flow. He sees 5 appetizers. He'll order 5 appetizers.
That's a meal,
No, but what I will do, Meg, if they have options and they say, let's go here, I'll look up the restaurant first and look at the menu and go, nah, it's not going to work. There's nothing there that I'm going to,
I took him.
It's true. When I go out there and we go, and I only go for 2 days, and I am not kidding, we spend anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 on food.
It's
while we're
insane.
there.
I believe that.
It's insane. Like every time that we go out to eat,
it's good.
every time we go out to, we went to the steakhouse. It was like $500. We went out to Greek food. It was like 200 and something bucks. We went to Puerto Rican. It was like another $200.
Who eats $200 worth of Puerto Rican food? Who eats $200 worth of Greek food? We're talking not like this big fancy restaurant or anything, right? We're talking.
That's impressive.
That sounds like a challenge.
It's great.
Is it just tubs of hummus at that point?
Oh, he had like 3 different hummus things, and it was all kinds of. It was really good.
Oh yeah,
he didn't like
5 appetizers, a soup. I ordered 2 dinners. At minimum, I have 2 different dinners because I want to try. I mean, I'm going out there and I see this food and I've never been here before and I don't want to wait till the next time to come back and try that meal. I want to know if I like this restaurant, so I'm going to order everything that sounds good. And then whatever. And I don't let it go to waste either. If I enjoy it, I eat it all, don't I, Edgar?
Oh, yeah.
It all gets eaten. And then I'll even take Mama's food and eat from hers, too. So, yeah.
What are you talking about? You took food out of my plate. What are you talking about? So,
This sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's a great experience. So, hey, we have Margaret on here.
Oh, hey, girl, hey.
And so big shout out. Hey, I didn't know you'd be on the podcast this evening. Megan, awesome. Can't wait to meet all of you Pool Nation guys in a couple of weeks. We're super excited to meet you. So super excited about that. So Zach, John, let's get into some final thoughts here. Let's go with Zach so we stay true to form.
So I did a Genesis class several years ago. And in the class, we had a project and it was for renovations and we had fake plans. There was a couple stacks of them and we got to go up and it had a fictional character or family and it had their requirements of what they were looking for and also talked about their lifestyle and things like that. And then we had to take those plans and do renovations based on their needs. And so I've been sitting here thinking $10,000 sounds mighty nice. So maybe I should join the challenge. And I think I could spend $1 million budget fairly easy. Now, I don't know if it will hold water, but I know it would look good. So what do you guys think?
Should I go for it?
Should I go for it? Go for the 10K?
Yes.
Now, let me tell you, you think it's that easy because the other thing of the class is you can't come in and go like under budget. Like you have $1 million, but you have to get close to that $1 million. So.
Yeah, no, and it was actually very challenging. And I walked away from that class going, I don't want to do this. So yeah, you probably want to see me at the $1 million challenge.
John, give us some final thoughts.
Look, I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. I want to thank Megan. You have been amazing too. Thank you so much again for coming on the podcast and everything you've done to support us. Kris, it was a pleasure having you. I look forward to meeting you in person and to working with you in the future if you guys will have us again. This show we have literally been in anticipation for this show since we finished the last one. And we know how important it is for us, for you guys, and most importantly for the industry. These shows, I think, are super critical to the development, right, of all pool pros, new and old. And most people think that it's more kind of geared towards newer people and the old dogs that go there have their own separate thing or whatever. But the truth is, these types of events is what drives us to become better, right? And helps get us all on the same page so that we get a good understanding of what's happening, not just in our own little world, but what's going on in the industry. And the relationships and the networking is invaluable. And it can be probably one of the biggest and best tools in your arsenal as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, to be able to step out of your little bubble and go out there and meet the people, that the thousands and thousands of people that are involved in this industry that kind of help make it for you. Because without us as a whole, there's not one person that can do it. So again, we're stoked and we're excited. I can't believe it's only 2 weeks away.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It really is. And I'm looking forward to it. So thank you again for taking the time to get on and talking with us. Look forward to seeing you. And we wish you the best. I know you guys are going to knock it out the park.
Thanks for having us.
We're super excited to be working with you guys again. And again, really, thanks for everything that you guys have done for us and partnering with us. You guys have just been absolutely amazing. And out here, you have everybody going, counting down the days. And I know that I've been talking to quite a couple of people, and you've seen some of the posts with everybody just super excited about getting out to the show. So anyways, thanks for coming on. I know it's really late. We have them come out. It's almost 10 o'clock.
I sleep. 2 weeks to go.
There is no sleep, right? So anyways, so thank you so much, everybody listening. We will catch you guys tomorrow on the Instagram Live. And the countdown begins, ladies and gentlemen, for the Pool Nation Awards. And we'll catch everybody next Wednesday. Have a great one. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 See you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or PoolNationPodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at Pool.Nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to PoolInvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.